Some of the most dangerous things in your life will not arrive as threats. They will arrive as gifts, wrapped in kindness, offered with a smile, presented as an opportunity, a blessing, a favor you feel almost obligated to receive. I remember a moment when something was placed in my hands that looked perfect. It made sense. It seemed harmless. Everyone around me would have said, "Take it." But something inside me felt heavy. Not fear, not confusion, just a quiet, persistent lack of peace. And I ignored it. That decision cost me more than I expected. Because here is a truth most people learn too late. Not everything given to you is meant for you. Scripture says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21, "Test all things. Hold fast what is good." That means not everything should be accepted. Some things must be discerned. Because what you allow into your life does not just sit there quietly. It shapes your environment. It influences your thoughts. It affects your spirit. And sometimes, what looks like a blessing carries a hidden burden. The enemy rarely approaches with something obviously destructive. He comes with something attractive, something useful, something that feels like an answer to your current need. That is what makes it dangerous. A gift can become a doorway. A simple object can become a connection. A small compromise can become a chain. And many believers today are not struggling because of what they are doing wrong. They are struggling because of what they are allowing in. Things God never told them to accept. This is not about fear. It is about discernment. You are not called to live suspicious of everyone, but you are called to be spiritually aware. Because your peace matters. Your identity matters. Your relationship with God matters. And all three can be influenced by what you receive. Today, we are going to walk through 5 types of gifts you must never accept from anyone. Not because they look bad, but because they carry consequences. Some affect your spirit. Some affect your integrity. Some affect your future. And if you learn to recognize them early, you will avoid battles you were never meant to fight. So, before you reach out your hands to receive the next blessing placed in front of you, pause. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can say is not yes. It is no. The first gift you must never accept is anything connected to idolatry or the occult. This is not symbolic. It is spiritual. In the book of Deuteronomy, God gave a clear warning. Do not bring abominable things into your house, or you may become like them. That is not superstition. That is protection. Objects tied to witchcraft, divination, or false worship are not neutral. They represent spiritual alignment. In Acts chapter 19, when people turned to Christ, they burned their magic books publicly. They did not keep them as memories. They removed them completely. Why? Because you cannot hold on to darkness and expect to walk in light. Your home is not just a physical space. It is a spiritual environment. and what you allow inside it matters. The second gift is more subtle. Anything that steals your peace. There will be moments when something looks good on the outside. A gift, an offer, an opportunity. Everything checks out logically. But inside, something feels off. Heavy. Unsettled. That feeling is not random. Colossians says, "Let the peace of God rule in your heart." Peace acts as a referee. If peace is absent, something is wrong. But many people ignore that signal. Why? Because they do not want to seem rude. They do not want to disappoint someone. So they accept something their spirit already rejected. And later, they pay the price. You must learn this. Peace is not optional. It is guidance. If accepting something disturbs your spirit, you do not need more explanation. You need obedience. The third gift you must never accept is anything that carries a legacy of darkness. Not everything passed down is meant to be kept. Some items carry history that does not align with your present identity. Family heirlooms, jewelry, objects connected to past rituals, or spiritual confusion. You are not required to keep everything out of sentiment. Scripture says to separate from what is unclean. You can honor your family without preserving what God has already called you out of, because your identity is no longer tied to your past. It is tied to Christ. And sometimes growth requires letting go. The fourth gift is even more serious. Anything gained through corruption. Money, favors, opportunities that come from dishonesty, exploitation, or injustice. They may look like shortcuts to success, but they carry hidden consequences. In the book of Joshua, a man named Achan took what was forbidden: gold, garments, hidden treasures. It seemed small, but it brought destruction. Not just to him, to everyone around him. That is the nature of compromised gain. It never stays contained. If you know something was obtained wrongly, do not accept it. Even if you did not commit the act, benefiting from it connects you to it. Integrity is more valuable than advantage. Always. The fifth gift is one many people struggle to release. Anything that keeps you tied to pain. This is not about evil objects. It is about emotional anchors. Letters from a toxic relationship. Gifts from someone who broke you. Items that remind you of seasons God already delivered you from. Every time you see them, something shifts inside you. You go back to shame, to regret, to hurt, and slowly, without realizing it, you stay connected to a version of yourself that no longer exists. Paul writes in Philippians to forget what is behind and reach forward. But you cannot move forward while holding on to reminders of what God already healed. Not everything sentimental is healthy. Some things are chains disguised as memories. Healing is not just spiritual. It is practical. Sometimes it looks like removing what keeps reopening wounds. Throw it away. Let it go. Make space for peace. Because God is not trying to take something from you. He is trying to free you. Conclusion. Not every gift is a blessing. Some are tests. Some are traps. Some are distractions designed to pull you away from who you are becoming. And if you are not careful, you will accept things that slowly reshape your life in ways you never intended. So remember the 5. Do not accept what is tied to darkness. Do not accept what steals your peace. Do not accept what carries a legacy God removed you from. Do not accept what comes from corruption. And do not accept what keeps you tied to pain. These are not small decisions. They are spiritual boundaries. Because every time you say yes to the wrong thing, you create space for confusion. But every time you say no with discernment, you protect your future. Your peace is valuable. Your integrity is valuable. Your calling is valuable. And none of them should be exchanged for something that only looks good on the surface. So the next time something is placed in your hands, pause, listen, discern. Because wisdom is not just knowing what to receive. It is knowing what to refuse. And sometimes, the most powerful step forward in your life begins with a quiet, firm no.